Daf Sadi Rima, 2 lines from the bottom. We mentioned about the Shomrim, the watchmen, what they're responsible for, what they're not responsible for. Hahu Ra'aya, there was a certain shepherd who was bringing the animals that he was shepherding along the riverbank. One of them slept in and died in the water. Rabba came and said he's patur. Because what else could he have done? He did what he could. What's the problem? There's no problem because he did what people usually do. So the Gemara says, hold up. If that's the case, that if you could do what people usually do, if a shepherd entered a town when people usually enter the town, instead of watching the animals, leave the animal behind, he'll sleep at door. Yes, that's the minhag, no problem. Let's say he took a nap in the middle of the day, he took a lunch break in the middle of the day. That people usually do. Yes. Etziveh has a question. He set him up for a question. These are the following things are considered unavoidable accidents, and even the paid watchman will be patur. The pasuk discusses over there regarding Eob how they were ambushed by armed people and they got slaughtered and stuff, and the animals were stolen. That type of situation, you are patur. Because you're patur in that scenario because it's armed guard. However, it sounds like that if it was you're taking a nap, you'd be chayav. Over there in the Raita, the only reason you're patur, you're chayav for anything except for a severe incident is because that's referring to town guards. Town guards can't afford to take lunch breaks. That's another question. At what degree is the paid watchman obligated to watch his stuff? Until the degree, until the level of what Yaakov told Lavan, that he used to stay up day and night to watch the animals in the heat and the cold. So we see that you are responsible severely, not so leniently if you want to take a nap. Amarle Rabba says also, Atonami different town guards. Amarle Atu Yaakov Avinu Hazan Matadava. What are you talking about? Yaakov Avinu, when he was telling Lavan what he did, he wasn't a town guard, he was a shepherd. No, the Gemara says, Lavan, he was telling Lavan, I guarded your animals as if I was guarding a city, and that's why you should pay me my dues. Etzve, next question. If a shepherd was shepherding outside town, he left his flock behind and entered the town. And while he was gone, a wolf came and took an animal, or a lion came and ripped apart an animal. We don't say if the shepherd was there, he would have saved it, and therefore he's chayav. Rather we check. If he would have been able to save it if he was there, then he's chayav to pay because he wasn't there. But if he wasn't able to save it, then he'd be patur because it wouldn't have made a difference. So the Gemara said, then Abai now is finalizing his question. It sounds like he went into town when other people do, and he's still chayav if he was supposed to be there to prevent the problem. Against Rabba, the Gemara says, lo, referring to the case where he entered when people do not usually enter. The Gemara says, patur, that's the case if he left when he wasn't supposed to leave. Why is he patur? It's referring to a situation where he'd started by being negligent, and then an accident happened, and he should be chayav. Like we say, according to that opinion. The Gemara says, Rabba answers no. It's referring to where he heard the lion and he ran away to the town to save himself. That situation he's chayav. He's negligent. If that's the case, what do you mean we check, we assess the situation? What could he have done if he knew a lion was coming? The Gemara says, he could have made a standoff with the lion with other shepherds or with sticks. He had what to do. Is the case. Why is it even a paid watchman? Even you would hold that an unpaid watchman, unpaid watchman, if he's able to ward off attackers or animals with sticks and other shepherds' help, and he didn't, he'd be chayav. Unpaid watchman can ask for help if they'll help him for free. But a paid watchman has to pay people to help him. What do you mean pay? How much can the paid watchman pay to get reimbursed by the person he's working for? Ad k'tidehen to the value of the animals. Where we find the concept that a paid watchman is chayav for an unavoidable accident. We saw before that if it's armed people, you're patur. Where it says, he is, like we said, I said earlier, I preempted it, he's being paid back. So he's hiring people to help the situation, but he's getting reimbursed. Where it says, if the animals are worth $10,000 and he's hiring helpers for $10,000, what's the point of it? Why are you helping the owner? The owner is coming out with nothing if he has to pay it out, the expense. Where it says, there's a difference because the animals, if he has the old animals, he'd rather have the old animals versus buying new ones because the old animals, he knows how they work and he knows their habits, or also it's easier to keep the animals you have versus trying to buy new ones at the same exact price. These rabbis did not hold the graba that a paid watchman is patur as long as he did what normal people do. The Amri, they said, the reason why I paid you to give me better watching, not to take naps. Bar'ada was taking animals across the bridge over the river. One animal pushed the next and it fell into the water and it died. He came to Rabbi, he said, you have to pay. He's like, what could I have done differently? Everybody takes animals across multiple at a time, and if they push, it's not my fault. You should have taken them one at a time. Do you know anybody else in the world who takes one at a time? That will take way too long. It's not fair. Many people have complained the same complaint and no one listened to them. Yes, you are responsible to do better than what everybody else is doing because they're under your care. No one's going to hear you to change the rule. Aibu one time left flax with Runya to watch. An armed robber stole it. Then they found out who the thief was. After the command of Rav Nachman, Runya came to Rav Nachman who said you have to pay. You didn't watch it correctly. It sounds like he's arguing to Rav Ravin. If something was stolen and they found the thief, if it's an unpaid watchman, there's two options of what can happen here. Because you know who stole it, you have two options. Either pay back, or you chase after the guy who stole it. So who gets the honor of getting the cash and who gets the honor of chasing after the thief? So, according to this Braita, it's saying that if the Shomer Chinam was stolen from the freed watchman, he can either swear that it was a mistake and therefore he's free and then the owner can get the thief himself, or he can pay the owner and then go after the thief. But he's a paid watchman, he has to settle with the owner directly and then he has to go to the thief afterward. Seemingly a question now, because Runya was, I have to pay according to Rav Nachman. The Gemara says no. In Runya's case, there was police officers there. The Ramakala, if Runya had started screaming when it was being stolen, they would have came and saved it. Therefore, it wasn't an accident. It was more negligent that he didn't request help, and that's why it's his problem to go after the thief. If one wolf comes after, that you should have stopped it, and therefore it's not considered an accident. Two wolves, however, is considered an accident. At a time of a plague of wolves, which means at a time when wild animals are acting extra wild, they're going crazy, and they're more daring. Even one's considered an accident because one usually you could scare off, but if they're in a rabid state where they're attacking anybody, then you have no responsibility to take it on because they might attack you. Two dogs is not considered an accident. If two dogs are approaching you from one side, it's not an accident. You should just chase them away. They're coming from two different directions, then they're trying to ambush you, and that's considered an accident. Save yourself. Halistim, a robber. How does the honest consider an accident? Ha'ari, lion, Nadav, a bear, Hanamer, leopard, Bardilas, usually translated as a hyena, v'nahash, snake, hare el onis, all accidents. Ematai, when is it considered an accident? Is much when they came by themselves, but if he brought them, if he brought them to a place where there usually are wild animals or armed robbers, that's not considered an honest. You literally put them in the situation. Meta kedarka, if it died naturally, had its honest, considered an accident. Sifga umeta, if you hurt it, or you starved it, or you brought it into a heat wave or freezing location and it died because of that, in honest, it's not considered an accident. Al talar shetzukin, if it ran by itself up the steep mountain and if it died, has the honest and honest. Hey, louder shetzukin, if you brought it up to the top of the mountain and it died, in honest, not an accident. Now the Gemara says about Tanya, but one wolf is considered an accident. Direct contradiction in our first part of the Mishnah, we said it's not considered an accident. That's referring to the time where there was the wolf plague, where they were daring, it's according to the Yehuda. That in that situation is considered an accident. An armed bandit is considered an accident. Why is it? Do 1 verse 1 and try to stop him. An armed bandit. That's why it is considered an accident. By the way, one question. Let's say you have an armed bandit, but the shepherd is strapped. He's armed as well. What's the halakha? Does he still have to try to stop him or not? Do we say 1 verse 1, therefore try? This guy, the bandit is obviously trying to be daring and risk his life. The shepherd has no responsibility to risk his life. Seemingly it's logical to say the bandit, since the bandit is risking his life, the shepherd does not have to risk his life. If the shepherd met the bandit, he said to him, Ganava Saria, you rotten thief. I'm standing in a place. There are 10 people with me, or whatever, 7 people with me. We have this man attacked dog with us. This man of armed guards with us. The guy took the dare and stole from him. What's halakha? You're chayav for kind of daring the thief to steal in your situation. Rabbah says, that's like the same type of concept of bringing the animals limakom gzeh, they have the same to a place with animals and bandits, and therefore you're chayav. Like Mishnah, an unpaid watchman can make a condition that he's patur even without swearing. And the borrower can make a condition to be patur from paying at all. And it says a paid watchman or a renter can also make a condition that to be patur from swearing and paying as well. Some very, very famous content for making a condition against a deoraita halacha ted'o batel. His condition is batel does not work. If you make a condition where the action comes before the condition, ted'o batel, that condition does not work. If you say, I'll give you a chocolate bar if you drive me, that is not a good condition. If you say, if you drive me, I'll give you a chocolate bar, that works. So, it sounds like only if it's possible to fulfill it, and you made that condition from the beginning to that it's a good condition, and we're going to infer that if it's not possible, maybe it doesn't work. How come do we say in the Mishnah that the shomer can be patur from obligations? Seemingly making condition on what Torah says. But we say no. Who is according to? A condition against the Torah regarding monetary value issues, that still works. Famous concept in Masechet Kiddushin. Shasam tells a woman, you're mekudesh to me. That you have no claim on me. The 3 responsibilities a man has with a wife: food, clothing, and relations. And it still works. But the condition falls apart. That says, but the monetary ones, it works, except for the ona, because that's not monetary. One second. Our Mishnah can't fit the Ravida, because the second part of it, right? Mishnah says, does not work. For instance, the whole thing's Ravida. And the second part, where he says it doesn't work, is non-monetary items. One second, the next part of the Mishnah says, any condition that has the action first, before the condition, who do we know that holds this type of concept? Tanya says, if the condition is before the action, how does it tonight? It's a good condition. If the action is before the condition, tonight doesn't work. So therefore, we give a new answer. The whole Mishnahs are meir. And regarding the shomer is different. Because he did not obligate himself on full responsibility. Meaning, a real shomer is chayav. If he's making a condition before he watches it, he's taking himself out of the idea that he's a real shomer. He's like a semi-shomer. Okay, Tana Braita. A paid watchman can make a condition to be like a borrower. The mai bivarim sounds like what? Only verbal commitment? That doesn't work. Mashmo b'shechimido made a kinyan on it. They shook on it, or they made a commitment. Even without a condition, without a kinyan, and how come it works verbally? Because the benefit that the shomer gets, the people are going to hear that he's a good, responsible man. That is a good enough kinyan. Big chidush. Side note, we know in kiddushin as well that there also is a concept of hana'ah being part of a kinyan. Okay. Mishnah said any condition that is possible for someone to fulfill. Amar Rav Tav Amar Rav Zu Divrei Rebida ben Tema. But Hamim say even if it's impossible to fulfill it. He made a condition on it, it still works. The Tanya Breta says, how does he get there? Because the guy tells his wife, this is your get. If you go fly to the sky. Or or your condition you go to the depths of the earth. If you condition you swallow a reed 100 amot long. Condition that you cross the great sea on foot. All these things are obviously impossible. However, if the condition was fulfilled through using Hashem Mefarash, for example, how does it get? It works. I love it came out tonight, but if the condition was not fulfilled, so he says that if he fulfilled the tonight, it's a good get. So as the lady did it magically, it's a good get. Don't came tonight if the condition is not fulfilled, and no get, it's not a good get. Because the get is a good get. Why? He had a rule. Anything that's impossible to fulfill the condition, that was the condition from the beginning. He's just trying to torment her. He's trying to bother her. But kasher, it's a good get, and obviously she doesn't have to fulfill the condition. We can also prove from our Mishnah that the Mishnah said specifically, our Mishnah said anything in the condition that it's possible to fulfill, and he started the condition with it, it's a good kinyan, which you can infer. If you can't fulfill it, to know batel, it's batel. Now we prove from here,